Well, it is another beautiful day in Amsterdam. I feel like we've been ridiculously, I just realised I've got my AirPods in. Feel like we've been ridiculously lucky with the weather since we got here. Like, a lot of people have said, is it just sunny all the time? And I was like, apparently not, as in apparently it's meant to be really similar weather to how it is in the UK. But for some reason we've just been really, really lucky since we got here. It's just been like lovely, like chilly, sunny weather, which has been so nice. It was Valentine's Day yesterday and we didn't actually do anything like massive. Well, we didn't really do anything for it, but Elliot did get me the most ridiculous bunch of flowers ever, didn't you?
Yeah.
They were honestly a joke. We'd also just been to the gym together and then we left separately and he came home with that and I cannot tell you how shocked I was. Like I had no words when I answered the door. But yeah, I will show you them. Finding a vase for them was interesting. I was trying to squeeze them into, I'm just trying to see if I've got it. Basically, there's this lovely vase, which is a little bit more like display. And I basically spent like half an hour trying to cram them into that vase. And then realized that there was a much bigger vase under the sink. I mean, it's still not big enough for the bunch of flowers. Like I've had to put a couple, you can see some of them in the corner there, the little yellow stems, and some eucalyptus, which I've had to put in another vase somewhere else. Then in the evening, we basically just spent the evening together watching This Is Us. If you haven't seen This Is Us, absolutely go and watch it because it's, in my opinion, just based on like things that I like watching, it's like the best series I've ever watched. And that might be a big claim, but I feel like it's everything that I love in like TV and film. I'm just not a huge TV or film person. Like if I'm left to my own devices, I probably won't even have the TV turned on. I do watch quite a lot of YouTube, but from my point of view, it's just the best thing ever. Like it's absolutely heart-wrenching and I don't even think I'm the kind of person that cries a lot at TV stuff, like stuff that I know isn't real. But this is just next level. Like I have sobbed throughout this series. Anyway, go and watch it if you're in need of something to watch because it's just absolutely incredible. I picked Elliot up this card, which I thought was quite funny because it's in Dutch and I've got absolutely no idea what it says. But I just thought when we both keep things like Valentine's Day cards to each other, and I thought that when we both look back on this, we'll remember that we had a Valentine's Day in a little apartment in Amsterdam. And I just got him this little cute lolly as well, which he hasn't eaten yet. Elliot's actually trying to do a low FODMAP diet at the moment to try and figure out some issues, which is something I've actually done. I did when I was like 15, I think, when I got diagnosed with IBS, which is crazy young. But it means that those things are a little bit more restricted during the week. But yeah, we just had a really, really lovely evening together. I'm gonna show you these flowers before I forget. We are actually heading out because, well, I'm gonna head out now because for some reason the internet in our apartment is just not working today. So I need to head out to do a few things on the internet. I've been trying to do work this morning that doesn't really need internet, but I'm at the point where my 3G, 4G, whatever data is about to run out on my phone. So these are the flowers, and I really hope that this clip does them justice because they're absolutely insane. Definitely not my best arrangement I've ever done, but that is because they are so crammed into this vase. But they're just beautiful and multicolored and yeah, just make me very happy. I thought these were really pretty. And obviously the lilies are gonna bloom at some point, which will be delightful. There's also like a tree in here. I don't know what this is. It kind of reminds me of like a cherry blossom tree, but I'm assuming that's not what it is. And some kind of like really beautiful big pink flower. So I think over the days, these are gonna get even more impressive. I mean, the buildings in Amsterdam, the architecture is just absolutely stunning. I think it's just because it's all so, I guess, like original. I was saying to Elliot, like one of the things that I noticed, and it's obviously, I mean, it's very obvious, but because a lot of the buildings, as you can see, are attached together, are kind of like, I guess, a terrace. It means that to actually build anything new, you kind of have to knock down in between two buildings, which isn't done very often. Like there are very, very few newer buildings here. Well, that I've noticed anyway. but I think it's why it just all looks so beautiful. Oh, this jumper, I forgot to say before. Funny story actually, when I was out at the weekend, and I don't know why I didn't really vlog this, I think I vlogged us with the bags, but we were walking in a different area of the city centre that we hadn't been to before, and we saw a little queue outside the Stussy, however you say it, shop, and we decided to join it, to go in, and it was basically the launch of the, I'm going to say Stussy because it sounds more right to me, the Stussy Nike collab. I think it's our second one because Elliot actually had something from their first one. And we went in and I actually ended up getting this grey sweatshirt, which is nice because I brought one sweatshirt with me, which is mad because you guys know I literally live in tracksuits at home. So I don't know what happened there. My packing was just really not on point, and Elliot got a black hoodie, the hoodie from the collection, and the bottoms as well. In our apartment, and we just did a little food shop on our way back from Albert Heijn, our absolute favourite place. Mainly, to be honest, fruit and veg. We've kind of developed a little bit of a habit sort of thing around eating, kind of accidentally since we got here. And we've pretty much been having rice with every single meal, occasionally sweet potato, and just choosing a protein source and loads of veggies. But I'm gonna show you what we bought, even though I feel like I only showed you this a few videos ago. When I asked on my Instagram what you wanted to see over on YouTube, a lot of the stuff was like grocery haul, healthy meals, healthy days, day in a life in Amsterdam kind of thing. So that is what I'm trying to come through with. So to start off, I've got some more rice. We've been making this big bowl, just so we don't actually have a huge Tupperware here, full of rice, and keeping it in the fridge for like, to be honest, closer to like 5 days, but don't copy me on that because I think you're only meant to eat rice after like 2 days in the fridge. I actually made our first big batch of rice with just like a own brand rice from the supermarket. And we then bought this the next time, and let me tell you, this Tilda rice is so much nicer. Like the texture, even the taste is just a lot nicer. So I feel like it's worth spending a little bit more on rice. Obviously it's a lot cheaper to buy rice in a big packet. But yeah, that's basically what we've been doing. And then we've been kind of just scooping it out for each meal, which has been so easy and just takes such the faff out of cooking, basically. Protein sources stocked up on salmon. I've been buying these like big pieces just because they are a little bit cheaper, and slicing them myself. We got some chicken, which is more for Elliot. And to be honest, I really don't eat a lot of chicken at all. A big sweet potato, which I'm gonna chop up, and we're gonna have that for dinner tonight, nice and roasted. Almost everything else we got were fruits and veggies. Maple syrup. This is the only kind of like sweetener thing that Elliot can have on his low FODMAP diet at the moment, so he's been having that in his coffee. And oats in the morning, Cajun seasoning, just because it goes well with everything. Some peppers, some carrot. Don't ask, but I just bought this grated carrot the other day and I found it really convenient to just throw into things, so I've just repurchased it. Green beans, we've got broccoli, we've got lettuce. I actually just eat this like just chunks of it because I absolutely love lettuce and cucumber. Do you know what, that's what I forgot to get another cucumber. We got some pineapple, another low FODMAP fruit for Elliot. Grapes, which he can also have, which I've just been munching because I'm super hungry. A big thing of strawberries. I really hate the plastic, and I feel like when I show you a grocery haul, it really enhances the fact that things in these supermarkets come in a lot of plastic. But there's not really a lot we can do about it at the moment. a lemon, some more ginger. I feel like I've been a bit obsessed with putting ginger in everything at the moment. Put a lot of fresh ginger in stir fries, which is great. And that's everything. So not like a full grocery shop, but I feel like we're trying to not buy loads of snacks. We actually get in a really, really bad habit of nighttime snacking. And I think I do it just a bit mindlessly because it's not like I'm hungry after dinner, but I think it's just like habit. If one of us is in the habit of doing it, the other one kind of like follows on. And to be honest, I'm on a little bit of a health kick at the moment. I'm being really consistent with the workouts that I can do. Obviously, they're pretty pathetic still, just because of my knee situation, and eating really healthily. So I'm trying to do like Monday to Friday, just mega healthy, and just keeping it like really simple, to be honest, but foods that I actually really enjoy. So things like oats and those Greek yogurt balls in the morning with the peanut butter and berries, and then in the afternoon, salmon balls for lunch, and then something just really simple for dinner, like whatever we fancy. Might be like noodles and tofu, or chicken for Elliot, or prawns, or whatever really. But yeah, we have kind of been in a pretty good routine, to be honest, which I can't say we're in the majority of the time, and I'm really hoping we can just continue it. I feel like if we're both in a good, strong, if we've both got like a good, strong mindset, I feel like it really helps. Good morning, guys. Well, I thought for a change, I would do a bit of, well, a teeny little bit of skincare and a little bit of makeup with you this morning. Thought I would talk you through my morning. The first thing I'm using, by the way, is this Ren Smooth Prep and Plump Essence, which they very kindly sent me just before I came here, and I've actually been really loving it. I've been doubling up on my hydration since we got here, because especially at the start of this trip, it was super cold, and then my skin gets really, really dry. But I have actually got a physio session this morning. I think I've just put way too much of that on my hand. I've actually got a physio session. I was having a bit of a not great evening, to be honest, last night in regards to my knee, and just having a flare up yesterday for basically no reason. I would usually just pat this into my face, but I've put so much on, I've had to kind of smooth it over first. Yeah, I'd basically had a day. I hadn't even been to the gym yesterday. Basically, there's like a sweet spot with my knee. If I do too much movement, something swells and really hurts. And if I don't do enough movement, it's like there's not enough blood flow to the area, and then it also hurts. But yesterday, I felt like I had it like pretty bang on. I hadn't worked in the same position, like on a chair the entire day. I'd worked from a cafe for a bit. I'd worked on the sofa for a bit with my leg out. I worked from this chair, I'd worked from a chair over there, and I still had a lot of discomfort, pain, whatever you want to call it, at the end of the day. I was having a bit of a meltdown last night, to be honest, which probably happens like every couple of weeks. So Elliot actually very kindly went online and found a physio practice really nearby. So the name is Physical Studio, and they're like space that they do their physio in and rehab stuff in looks really, really cool. I am very grateful for that, and I'm just, yeah, I think I'm in need of some in-person physiotherapy at the moment, because as much as I had quite a lot of it at the start, just after my operation, which was now, it was a year ago in October, it was like towards the end of October. Just gonna go in with some SPF. This is the ultraviolet one that I love, the SPF 50 plus Supreme Screen Hydrating Facial Sunscreen, and I'm really, really nearly out of it, which is very sad. But yeah, I just feel at the moment that I need to see some kind of professional and get some actual advice on what's going on, because I just honestly have no idea what direction to take this situation in at the moment. I was doing some really great rehab stuff, which I kind of came up with by myself for Christmas, and post-Christmas, it just doesn't seem to be working in the same way, which is a real shame. And I honestly feel like at a bit of a loss. Get this all the way down to my neck, by the way, because I don't want a wrinkly neck. I feel like I've suddenly got really warm. But I've got this feeling, even when I do my rehab exercises that I think are right for my knee, if they're not right and I'm not really doing the right things, I kind of want to know that I'm not. And yeah, I just basically feel like I need someone else's opinion on it, which I think is fair enough considering we're nearly 3 years, we are 3 years on. I say nearly 3 years on, we're over 3 years on. My thoughts and feelings at the moment are just like, is this ever gonna end? Someone actually said to me the other day, like, do you think you'll ever be able to get back to doing like sport again, like to play squash again? And I was like, oh my God, the fact that you're even saying that to me is kind of crazy to me, because I'm like, assume that I will be able to. Like, I've got this vision of just being like completely right and completely healthy again, but it is making me start to feel like that's not something that's, you know, ever gonna happen for me, which would be a real shame. I know one of my things this year is like positive attitude and positive outlook, and that is really what I'm trying to do, and I'm really keeping that in the back of my mind, but it's pretty tough. Like, I remember having this goal in January last year of being able to run at some time during the year, and we're like 13 months on and I'm like nowhere near even close to being able to run, which is kind of, yeah, it's just a bit of a shame. The other side of it is that I have got a physio session today, and I'm hoping they might give me different rehab exercises or highlight different things to me. I'm gonna put a bit of makeup on because my face is super pale at the moment in comparison to everything else. So this is, I've actually started reusing this. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. It's got literally no label on now, but I brought it with me because it'd basically been at the bottom of my makeup bag for ages and I just hadn't used it. But I have got quite a dark shade. I have no idea what shade it is. Oh, no, it does say on the bottom. This is 5.5, which is better for me in the summer. It's actually a lot more orange than my skin tone, but I use it as like a way of adding colour to my face rather than just, you know, to add a glow. I'm gonna go in with a teeny little bit, and you'll see how much of a small amount of this I use of the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body Foundation. This is actually very thin and watery, so if you don't like a thin foundation, it's probably not the one for you. But I just want a little bit of extra coverage on my cheeks area, because this side especially. Are you okay? You're like, someone's just like come in to rob the apartment during my video. This side especially is where I've got like scarring, and I guess it is scarring, like redness left over from when I was getting quite a lot of spots, which is actually something I think I'll speak to you about in my next video, because I can tell this kind of get ready with me bit is going to end up being really quite long. Just going to go in with a bit of the Charlotte Tilbury powder, which I'm actually nearly out of, and I've got a new one ready to go, which I'm quite excited to try because it's the other one that they have, the new one in like the white packaging. I've just thought of something really funny which I actually need to do this morning. I actually need to shave my legs before I go, so I think I'm gonna have a body shower, because if any of you are like me and have just quite dark hair everywhere and don't regularly shave their legs or wax or whatever, you'll know that it's just not that subtle really. And I feel like if I've got a new physio and they're very intently looking at my knee, and I'm not going to be able to unsee the fact that I've got like dark, thick, like stubbly hair. So I'm gonna have a good body shower after this. Okay, last things, and I don't know how I'm still using this, but there must be quite a lot of product in here. This is the Freck Lash Rocket Mascara, which I really love. I've honestly been using this for months and it really doesn't seem to be running out. I really love how much this just separates out your lashes. It's quite a natural mascara, as you can tell, so if you're not a natural eyelash kind of person, if you like something really thick, it's probably not the one for you. And then I'm just gonna brush through my eyebrows with the Refi, which again, I'm probably on my 4th one of these. Just absolutely love it. You know what, if I don't brush through my eyebrows, even if it's not with some product in the morning, they literally just stick up everywhere. I think my hairs themselves are like quite wiry and they just look hilarious first thing. They just kind of cross over and do what they want. We'll do a bit of Bobbi Brown lip balm and then we're almost ready to go.
About to leave, already packing, come with me, I'm not ready.
Just finished my session with the physio and I feel so relieved right now that I actually want to cry. I'm gonna get back and then I'll tell you all about it. Guys, I had such a good session. I say good, I mean it was like mentally tough. I feel like being poked and prodded as much as I just was in that session is weirdly tiring. Like you don't think it's going to be, but it is tiring. And I think for me, even speaking through the journey that I've been on over this last 3 years, I find hard, like I find it really difficult, to be honest, to speak about it, especially like tell someone the story from the start, because it's now just like the most ridiculous story ever. Like I cannot believe that we're 3 years on. But anyway, news is the physio that I saw, who was amazing, noticed so many things that are wrong. The one thing that's super positive I want to mention first is that he doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with my actual knee. So like the mechanics of my knee, the tendons right around the area, all fine. ACL fine, MCL fine. Lots of things, basically my whole knee just absolutely fine, which is super, super positive because that was always kind of one of my worries. My main issues are with my quad. When I was lying face down, the pain that I felt when he was just really lightly touching the top of my glute and the lower part of my back was absolutely unbelievable. Like the kind of pain that makes you want to be sick. And Elliot was just saying, like, it's so strange that you hadn't noticed that yourself. Genuinely, it's just not, you don't like spend a lot of time like squeezing yourself, like all over, like squeezing your muscles. So I've obviously just not noticed that myself, but there's so many places where I'm holding a crazy amount of tension, like just so much tension. It was like sore to touch. It was, yeah, very strange experience. I've also got a problem with some of my muscles, like my quad having been shortened. Obviously, this is all a result of everything that's gone on with my knee and kind of the aftermath, really. But yeah, super positive because he said there is a lot that we can do. So he said the main thing we need to focus on at the start is just releasing some of the tension. So one of the things that he wants to do with me, I think we're actually doing it on Monday, and I will try and kind of take you along for the journey, is dry needling, which I need to really Google because I've heard of it before, but I've never even seen it being done. So that will be interesting. And there were also a couple of other things that he said, like treatment wise. And then we're going to be moving on to strength stuff eventually. But I did say to him, like, we're only here for a certain amount of time. So he said, well, we'll see what we can do in that amount of time. So I am feeling so positive. Like, I just needed this. I really, really needed this. I needed like a new bit of hope. As I mentioned before, I think the thing that helps you when you're going through a process journey like this is having some kind of like positive hope or feeling like you're moving forward. There are two sides of it. One is that it's so, obviously the physical side of it, like not being able to do things I want to do, just kills me. And like I don't want to get emotional like talking about it, but I find that the fact that I find the idea of like being the age that I'm at and knowing I'm like in my prime years at the moment, and the fact that I haven't been able to play the sport that I like love, like it's like my absolute passion, like massive part of my identity for the last 3 years, is just really tough in itself, alongside the fact that this has had like such a crazy impact on my work. And the other side of it is like just the other side of it is like the mental strain and just trying to like keep positive all the time is just hard. But anyway, I appreciate that I am super fortunate in a ton of other ways, and there's so many awful things going on in the world that I feel like it really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? You know? But anyway, back to positive 2023 vibes. We are going to get this sorted, and hopefully this physio can help me get through it all. But I'm going to wrap this video up here because I've been waffling. I feel like we've had about 5 sit-down conversations throughout this video. I'm really worried it's going to be super long, but thank you for watching, and thank you for sticking with me through all my blabbing about my knee stuff. I honestly really appreciate it. And yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go. I will see you in my next video, and please subscribe if you fancy it and you want to stick around. Bye.